Hi everyone, I am going to explain to you in 5 minutes the really important ideas of delocalized electrons and metals, what is meant by electrical current and how this is different from voltage. So delocalized or free electrons. So we have our metal, we have this repeated 3D lattice structure, and we have the outer electrons which are free to move. So these are moving randomly all the time in metals, even when there is no current flowing. When there's no battery attached, it's not in a circuit. This is happening all the time just due to thermal energy. So, and the speeds are pretty high in this motion. So when we apply a voltage, so we connect the wire in a circuit with a battery, then one side is positive and the other side is negative. So then the electrons are attracted to the positive terminal and they're repelled from the negative. So then we have a current. So we've got this slow movement of electrons repelled from the negative towards the positive, and this is called the drift velocity. It's generally a very, very low value, just a few millimeters per second, and you might look into this in more detail at physics A level. But a key idea here is the drift velocity, that's the flow of current from negative to positive, is superimposed on top of the random motion. So you actually have two types of motion here. So this is what we mean by current in a wire. So if we have current in a circuit, so a couple of key ideas here. So the first one, which is really, really important, is that current is not used up. It is the same all the way around the circuit. Very, very important. The electrons do not disappear or reappear. The electrons stay the same. And they transfer energy from one point to another. So also important to consider is the electrons are in the wire already. So they don't just appear out of nowhere, they're already in the wire. So when I close the switch, then I have a complete circuit. So I can give energy to the electrons, or they can pick up the energy as they pass through the battery, and they move around the circuit, and the energy may be used up, but the electrons are not used up. They pick up the energy, take it to the component, and then continue on their way. So this is what we mean by current. It's the flow of charge, or usually the flow of negative electrons, negative charge in a circuit. The electrons are not used up. So how does this relate to voltage? What is voltage? So clearly current and voltage are related, but they are two very different things. So if we just think about one electron on its journey around the circuit, so I have my one electron here, I'm going to close my switch, and the electron moves through the battery. So it has gained energy. So this is shown by the flashing pulsing light here. It now has more energy. This is what we understand by electrical energy. And then it continues on its journey. So it's repelled by the negative terminal and attracted by the positive terminal. So it passes around, and it may lose a bit of energy in the wire due to electrical resistance, but normally we assume this is very, very small, or even zero, if the wires are copper. So then it comes to a component, so for example a light bulb, and it passes through the light bulb. It transfers some, or maybe most, of the energy that it has, and that appears as light or heat, or whatever it might be in the component. So the electron now has less or possibly zero energy. It's transferred all of its electrical energy as far as we're concerned, but it still continues on its journey. So it's still moving around the circuit, attracted to the positive terminal, and the process continues. So then it picks up more energy from the battery and transfers that, and this process continues until all the energy has been used or transferred from the battery, and this is what we understand as the battery going flat. So the light no longer lights up. So this is a PowerPoint that I have made. You can download this for free. I've been using this for years. It's a really useful teaching resource, and a lot of my students will download this themselves so they can play around with it. So if you want to get access to this, just follow the description, the details in the description below, and you can also get access to other free PowerPoint presentations as well. I hope you enjoyed the video and found this useful. Bye.